Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video we have the Season 19 patch notes. They're here, we finally know all the numbers. I'm super excited, I know you are, so let's break these down. But just quickly, if you're looking to take your Apex skill to the next level and absolutely dominate Season 19, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there, we have top level coaches, including myself, creating the best, most highly informative guides to make you the best player you can possibly be. We have legend guides, gun guides, VOD reviews, and much more. So no matter what you struggle with or want to learn, we have solutions for you. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today. But okay, with that covered, let's hop into things. And to start things off, we have to talk about the new legend, Conduit. Now, Conduit is more than likely going to be a support character based on her kit, and I am very excited for that because I am a support main. I love playing supports. And she looks like she's going to be a little bit more of an aggressive support, kind of akin to Newcastle, being a little bit more aggressive, but at the same time not really being a backline support. She's going to be in the fray support. Her abilities really support that kind of scrappy support playstyle, so let's break these down. Starting off, we have her passive, Save Your Speed. With this, you gain a burst of speed when running towards a teammate out of tactical range. Now, we don't have any numbers on the patch notes here, but supposedly it is going to be a 40% speed boost, which is the same speed as Octane Stim, which would be absolutely insane. But we also have her tactical Radiant Transfer. With this, you blast your ally with energy, regenerating temporary shields for them when in danger. So this allows you to just give your teammates a burst of shield when they are in a fight. If they're about to go down, bam, shield, you got it. They're healthy, somewhat, temporarily. But this is also why she's going to be a little bit more aggressive, because you have to be within tactical range in order to do this. So you have to be a little bit more up close and personal with your team, which sounds really cool. And then we have her ultimate Energy Barricade. With this, you deploy an array of shield jamming devices which damage and slow enemies. Now, once again, the shield jamming device isn't very defined. It kind of makes it seem like you're just going to shut off the enemy's shield, so when you shoot them, you're just hitting straight flesh instead of shield damage, which would be a little bit overpowered, but apparently these devices can be destroyed, so hopefully your enemies will be able to kind of do some damage to them before it absolutely murders you. I personally think she sounds really cool. I cannot wait to try her. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. But next up, we have to talk about the maps and the map updates. And of course, everybody wants to know what maps are going to be in rotation, so the 3 maps for public matchmaking are going to be Broken Moon, Olympus, and Stormpoint. Now for ranked, it is pretty typical that the map that does get some changes is the only one that you can play for the first week. And Stormpoint is receiving a bunch of changes, including a few new POIs and some reworks to a bunch of POIs. And it is also getting shrunk a bit. So if they're continuing with that, Stormpoint is probably going to be the map that we're going to be playing for the first little bit. But with all the changes, it looks like Stormpoint's actually going to be an insanely good map no matter what mode you're playing on. So I'm pretty excited for that as well. Next up, there is an update to the anti-cheat. And the anti-cheat has been a huge hot topic for a lot of different people. A lot of people seem to think that the anti-cheat doesn't work, and in my opinion, it is kind of wishy-washy on if it actually does or not. But they are constantly making updates to it, and one that they are launching in the new season is a live in-game ban notification for players when they are removed from the match. This notification will appear in the kill feed when players in your current match have been removed. And they do state that this alert will only be triggered when they are removing somebody that is cheating and not when somebody quits a match, loses connection, or is kicked for AFK. They also state that this is the first of many steps that the team is making to improve visibility and player feedback when users are action. Now, hopefully one of the other steps that they are going to be taking is a notification that does pop up in kind of the main menu that does tell you when somebody that you reported does get banned, because it is that little instant gratification that you are making the game just a little bit of a better place. Now that person's probably just going to make a new account and be back on, but hey, you kind of slowed them down a little bit and you made it so that people that are in the game with you don't have to play a cheater for at least a short period of time. And you know, that's always a good feeling. But speaking about changes to the game, Ranked is also getting a few updates, so let's talk about that next. And they are making a new promotional trials feature in Ranked. With this, in Season 19, players will enter a promotional trial state when they reach the peak of their tier. This means if you're moving from rookie to bronze or bronze to silver, silver to gold, gold to platinum, platinum to diamond, diamond to master. It's not if you're like bronze 3 moving to bronze 2. It's only when you are going into a new ranked tier. Now, when you do complete the trial, you will be allowed promotion to the next tier with a 250 LP promotional bonus. Failing to complete the trial within the match limit results in the trial ending in a loss of LP based on the player's performance. Trials are limited to 5 matches, increasing by 1 each time a player fails, then re-enters the same trial up to a max of 10 retries. And promotional trials are skipped during provisional matches. So your first like 10 matches where they're trying to rank you, you're not gonna have to do the trials then. Now it is different for each tier, so let's break them all down. Now for every single one, the main condition is win a game. So I'm only really gonna be talking about the alternative conditions. Now for rookie to bronze, you're going to have to get 3 top 10 placements and get 3 kills and or assists. For bronze to silver, you're gonna have to get 3 top 5 placements and 6 kills or assists. In silver to gold, it's going to be placed top 10 and get 3 kills and assists. From gold to platinum, it is going to be placed top 5 and get 6 kills and assists. And platinum to diamond and diamond to master, there is no alternative win condition. You are going to have to win a game. Now, in my opinion, these are fantastic additions into the game. I really do think that these are going to make ranked a little bit more competitive, and it's not going to make it so that people can just fast track their rank experience. If people want to get boosted, it's going to be a little bit harder, making the game a little bit better in that sense. Now, with the hidden MMR system that they do have in the game, which is absolutely stupid, it can make things a little bit harder because even if you're in like silver going into gold, you could be playing people that are in master and predator, and it's going to make things really difficult. But we're gonna have to see how it actually plays out in game, and there are some other rank changes, so let's break those down as well. First off, they are increasing the amount of rating bonus given to help players rank catch up to their skill bracket. So if you're in like silver or gold and you're playing people in master and predator, you do get more RP based on killing those people because technically they are in a higher skill bracket and you're killing them, so you get better ratings based off of that. So with the hidden MMR system, it is going to help you move through the ranks a little bit easier if you are actually performing well. They also have reduced the bonus that is withheld and thus the difficulty of climbing when players are actively pushing against their skill ceiling. Again, it's just a way for you to move through the ranks just a little bit faster if you are performing well. And provisional bonuses are adjusted to land players closer to the expected statistical 1.5 teardrop at the end of their 10 provisional games. This one doesn't really matter, it's just going to help you place a little bit better. And the biggest thing that they did remove is the ranked differences that you would have to have in order to queue up with somebody. Before, you had to be at least one rank between them. So if you were platinum, you had to queue with somebody that was either in diamond or gold. You couldn't queue with somebody that was in master or silver. But now they have removed that. So if you want to play in the 3 stack and your friends are a little bit higher ranked than you, but you can still play with them, then now you are actually going to be able to. This is a huge one for me because it was always kind of a pain in the butt if your friends were a little bit higher ranked than you. Maybe they started the season a little bit earlier. Maybe you started a little bit late. Maybe some things in life happened and you couldn't play, but now you're kind of grinding and everybody's already ahead of you. There were a bunch of different things that lead to some issues, but now that is removed and I think it is fantastic. But now with that covered, let's move into the actual fun part, and that is the balance updates. And first off, the crafting rotation. The RE45 and the 3030 are leaving the crafter going back into floor, and the R301 and the Volt are going into the crafter taking their place. The boosted loader and the digithread have been removed from the crafting option, and hammer point has been added into the crafting option. And for the care package, the L-Star is coming out, so they are removing disruptor rounds, they are reducing the projectile size, they are improving the recoil pattern, and they have reduced the randomness in the early part of the recoil pattern. They have also increased the damage, which is a little bit weird, but I guess it does make sense with disruptor rounds being removed. They're changing it from 16 to 17, and they are improving the barrel attachment to match other weapons. Now the weapon taking the spot in the care package is the Wingman. It's getting a new hop-up, the Skull Piercer Elite, that ignores helmet headshot damage reduction. So it doesn't matter what kind of helmet they have, it is ignoring it all. It is also getting the boosted loader hop-up attached to it, so it's going to have 2 different hop-ups. And the base damage has been increased to 50, it was 45. They have also increased the projectile size, and it has 110 ammo. I think the Wingman is going to be a lot scarier in the care package than it ever was on ground loot. And that is including the Season 0 Wingman, where it was an absolute machine. This thing is going to be scary. Keep an eye out for it. That's not the only changes to care packages, because the care package will now always have at least one weapon in it at all stages of the game. So it's going to be a lot more likely that you will find a care package with a gun in it, because it's always going to have a gun. The gold weapon rotation is also changing, so now we're going to have the Havoc, the RE45, the Car, the L-Star, and the Longbow as gold weapons. And the hop-ups are receiving some changes as well. The boosted loader has been removed from floor loot, and the turbocharger, they have removed 1 damage reduction when equipped. But now we can move into the actual weapon changes, and for the 3030, they have increased hip fire spread, so it's going to be a little bit less consistent when you are up close and personal. For the bow check, they have faster initial draw speed, a select fire button now toggles shatter caps, and they have tightened the shatter cap blast pattern to be a little bit more consistent in close range. The charge rifle has improved bullet drop ballistics and increased projectile size, so it's going to be a little bit more forgiving when you do take those really long range shots. The charge rifle is meant to be used at a very long distance to get the better damage out, and now it's going to be a little bit easier to do that. The Hemlock is also receiving a nerf. It's getting a damage reduction. It's going to 21, it was 22. Not a massive damage reduction. I still think the Hemlock's going to be pretty busted, but the Nemesis isn't receiving any changes, so the Nemesis will probably take the spot as the best burst weapon again. The Longbow is also receiving some changes. It's getting increased projectile size, and the Sentinel is also getting increased amp shot projectile size. So amp shot is going to be still stupidly strong. Well, that is all for the weapons, so let's move into the legends, and Bangalore is up first. Her double time is getting a reduction in duration. It's going to 2 seconds, it was 3 seconds. The smoke launcher smoke lifetime has been reduced. It was 23 seconds, it's going to 18 seconds. And the rolling thunder stun duration is being reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. Bangalore has been a little bit of a problem in the meta currently. She's been a little bit too strong. That is mainly a big thing to do with the digi threats and everybody being super aggressive. So I do think they're going a little bit overboard with all of the reductions that they are giving her. But at the same time, it kind of does make sense because Respawn nerfs based off of pick rate. Next up, Catalyst is receiving some nerfs as well. First off, her tactical piercing spikes. The core no longer blocks projectiles, allowing bullets to pass through. The max in-world count is also being reduced to 2, it was 3, and the throw range has been decreased by about 50%. So this is a nerf, but also a buff in a way, because the core no longer blocking bullets means there is no longer going to be a way to destroy them, it sounds like. Maybe explosives can still do damage to them, but it doesn't really seem like you're going to be able to break them. That will be pretty strong and be a really big nuisance for trying to push specific buildings, but also it's going down to 2 instead of 3, so it's going to be a little bit easier to deal with her because she's not going to be able to put out as many spikes. Her Dark Veil is also receiving some nerfs. The cooldown now starts after the wall comes down, and they reduce the lifetime of it from 30 seconds to 25 seconds. So essentially the wall just got a 25-second cooldown increase, and it did reduce the lifetime a little bit. So it is a little bit of a harsh nerf for her ultimate, but at the same time, I don't think it'll really affect how her ultimate plays. It's still going to be pretty strong in its own right. Next up, they have some passive updates for Pathfinder and Wraith. For Pathfinder, you can now scan care packages after allies have already scanned them. This is a huge issue, especially for solo queue players, where your ally would just scan a care package, not allowing you to get your cooldown reduction, but now you're still going to be able to do that. And Wraith, Voices from the Void reduced look time required to trigger. Apparently, it feels more reliable and consistent. And Wraith did have kind of a joke of a passive. You would get shot and then the voice would be like, hey, somebody's looking at you. So now it'll trigger a little bit faster, giving you a little bit more of a heads up. So I think Wraith will be in a very strong spot still. And as for ultimate updates, Newcastle's Castle Wall, they have reduced the recovery time on landing and increased the max leap height. Newcastle was already ridiculously strong to begin with, and they just gave him a buff, so he's still going to be so strong. Revenant's Forged Shadows, they have also reduced the time extension window for assist to 3 seconds. It was 30 seconds. This is just a reduction on how long Revenant can keep his ultimate up potentially. And Vantage's Sniper Mark bullet count has been increased to 6, it was 5. Now I love Vantage, but come on, for all 3 Vantage players that are out there, this is going to be pretty good for you guys because it's going to give you a little bit more flexibility with your shots, because 5 was a little low. 6 I think is a really strong number for her. They have also changed some in-world systems. First off, now players respawn with the shields and weapons that they had when they were eliminated. So if you had like red armor and your god loadout, if you got killed and eliminated, when you respawn, you are going to have that back. The body shield and helmet levels are preserved, the knockdown shield is reset to white, backpacks are removed, and inventory will contain some ammo for the weapons, 2 syringes, and 2 shield cells. Weapons are maintained unless that weapon was a care package weapon, and all other weapon attachments are removed, including from kitted weapons. So if you had a gold weapon, all of the stuff will come off of that as well. So it's not going to be overly busted, but it won't leave you stranded out in the middle of nowhere if a team does decide to push you while you are being revived. It does take a little bit of the risk of rezzing somebody out of the game, but at the same time, it gives you a fighting chance, and you are still pretty weak with only a limited amount of ammo and no attachments. So I do think that this is a really solid change. And the Replicator, Ring Console, and Survey Beacon spawn rates have returned to being even across all POIs. Now overall, I think these patch notes are insanely good, but let me know what you think about them in the comments down below. And if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Thanks all for watching. Once again, be seeing you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.